Paige, 4 years ago, when you started at the program, you had an opportunity to kind of build, the program to what it is now. How do you look back on those 4 years and kind of describe what you've seen the program become?
Yeah, I think it's been a long process, but my senior year now, it just feels good that culture feels right. We're in a right position to do what we need to do. So I think all those years leading up to it's part of it, and it's figuring out what works best for everybody and what works best for me and what works best for the leaders. So it's been cool to just watch the growth over the years and finally feel like, wow, like this team's really good and we got something special going on and everybody's bought into that. So it's just like awesome feeling as a senior to feel that from the underclassmen and also the upperclassmen.
Paige, what's it like just seeing the freshmen have the success that they've been having so far this season?
Oh, I'm so pumped for them. It's so cool to just see each one of them doing their job on the field. And I feel like each week I'm like, who's going to be the next freshman of the week for the Big Ten? So I think it's just cool that they're out there playing free and playing for each other. And it makes my job a little bit easier knowing that they're so bought into our team and our culture. And so I think that's just the blessing in it all.
It seems like they have done a good job of kind of not getting too high, not getting too low. But do you anticipate having to maybe help them manage some emotions Friday, just getting a chance to play here before the home fans, all that?
Yeah, I mean, it's always exciting to play at home. And I think for us, like, we just got to figure out how to really keep a neutral mindset. And I think that's something we've been focusing on from the fall to this point now. And I think you'll see that being used in our game this weekend at home. They'll really be neutral and not letting any highs get too high or just any lows get too low. Just like staying process driven.
Talking about that culture, what is a moment like on Saturday where you guys are part of Coach's 200th win and, it's a big victory against Missouri? Just what does that do for team morale overall?
It's exciting. Like to be able to do something like that for Coach, who's given us so much time and energy into us. It's like an awesome feeling to kind of give back to her because nobody sees all the things she does on the behind the scenes. And so for her to be able to celebrate with us and celebrate her, it's so cool for Oregon softball, and I feel like we're going to keep seeing those big wins kind of moving forward with a culture like this.
What have you learned about this team these last 3 weeks that maybe you didn't know going into the season or were maybe a little unsure of going into the season?
Yeah, like never count us out. I feel like from the first weekend on, even the second weekend, like we were behind, but you could see us just really focus on being process driven, like I said, and we're just going to get the runs in no matter how it takes, or whoever needs to step up and take the strain for that day, like we're doing that. And I think that's something cool. Like if we need the pitchers to do it, then they got us. And if we need the hitters to step up, like we got the pitchers. So it's kind of a cool like bouncing back kind of thing going on.
I understand the idea of having a faceless opponent, as she was talking about, but by the same token, when you're having the success you're having against the quality of competition you've been having, does it at least like kind of reinforce that your ceiling could be as high as you want it to be if you guys kind of stick with things?
Yeah, I think nobody's going to beat us but ourselves. And so if we can just keep with that mindset and playing Oregon softball, I mean, I think like of the San Diego State game, that was Oregon softball to a T. Like we were executing the card, the pitchers were doing their job, defense was clean. Like I just think if we can stick to being ourselves and not worry about what the outside world is saying, like that's going to be so beneficial for us because we don't want to let the highs get too high or the lows too low. And I think like right now social media loves us, but like that doesn't matter because we love each other and we love our team and our culture, and that's what's going to like keep us going throughout this year.
But are you finding like this week you have to work a little bit harder to kind of block out that chatter and
yeah.
Stay focused?
I mean, like Lindsay was saying, like we have to work hard just as hard as we have been these past few weeks. Like we don't know what's going to be on the mound, and like we just got to go for it. So I think we just got to stay really process driven like we've been talking about.
Paige, you've worked really hard since you got here in the batter's box. You haven't always had success. This year you're finding that the ball's missing the glove a bit more than it was last year. Can you just speak to how that feels? Because I mean, it's not like you're working any less hard, maybe even harder, but you're finding more success and just kind of that payoff.
Yeah, I think just part of being a senior, like you just kind of understand the game a little bit more. You don't get as frustrated as you would when you're younger when things aren't going your way. So I think it's just a maturity thing. And being a senior, I just feel more free being out there and not trying to do too much or just kind of going out there, enjoying my last season with my girls and not making it about myself, but making it about everybody else, because at the end of the day, that's more important. I want to do what's best for the team and not have to really focus on what I'm doing results-wise on the field.
how do you impart that same wisdom to, say, a freshman that, maybe was starting hot and isn't now, or kind of going through those same ups and downs that you've gone through, that may not have the maturity to know that, the game is a game of failures more than successes?
Yeah, I think each one of our relationships on the team is so unique and special. So figuring out ways that best gets that message to them, and whether that's going to get coffee and talking about it over a cup of coffee, or even if it's just pulling them aside during the game and reinforcing that they're really good and they're here for a reason and that they just need to continue to do their job. I think that's kind of just what you see with all of us. I think it's just being able to be a mentor for them. And I think back to my freshman year when Bunk was a mentor for me and Tara, I want to do the same thing for them, because at the end of the day, we're all in this together and we're all here to we go to the World Series. So
one of those freshmen, Steph, obviously had a great start to the season, and I'm wondering, your thoughts on her as a personality, as a teammate, what it's been like to play with her.
It's so fun. I mean, I played with Steph a little bit with Corona Angels and travel ball, and I've seen her hit bombs all the time, but that 300-foot bomb this past weekend, I've never seen anything like that. But that's not even the cool thing about Steph. She's just a great person and has a lot of energy day in and day out on the field that makes coming to practice easy, showing up at the games easy. She's the first one in the dugout that's going to be there cheering for someone. So just being able to have her around has really been a cool addition to our team.
This is your last, I guess, home opener. Do you remember your first ever game here? Did the memories? You have any special memories from that day?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like I can't remember too much. I remember my first ground ball, on the field, I actually tripped over my shoelaces. That's the only thing I remember from first stepping up on the field. But no, it's just such a special place to be, and just to be able to be in front of all the fans with this type of group, it's so exciting. I'm so excited for them to talk about this team, because we have something special going on, and so nothing better than opening back up here.
I meant to ask you about this in the preseason, but you got to play in the celebrity softball game, the Justin Herbert. What was that like?
Oh.
You played here a lot, but obviously different circumstances.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. I mean, being able to be around such high-level athletes and playing a game of softball, slow-pitch softball, was so much fun. The energy was crazy, and I'm excited to hopefully see the energy kind of be the same here at the Jane this weekend.
Have you tripped on your shoelaces since then?
No. I think I had really long shoelaces that day, honestly. Made sure that they're a little bit more tight and double knotted now.
You put in a lot of work in the weight room. I know your strength and speed is a result of that, but is grooming with Kai something that's making you try to be faster on the bases? Because you seem to be stealing more and turning doubles, say, into triples.
Yeah, I'm just going for it. I don't want to hold back anything this year, and that's kind of what you feel from all the seniors in this whole class. So if I'm going to steal extra bases, I'm going to do it every time.